everyone, and thank you very much to ISD and the organizers for having me this morning. And also special thanks to my predecessor, Professor Maripangestu, and also to Professor Findlay for your special contributions to this morning's Services Summit. I just came back last night from Brebes with the president, so I'm still pretty tired and sleepy. And I have to admit, I was tempted to skip this morning. No, but this is too important because I think it's fair to say that the services trade and the services sector is our future. And I was just chatting with Ibu Mari on the way up here on the escalator, and it's true, it's surprising how little we talk about it, considering how big it is, how large of a contribution to GDP it makes, how large of a proportion of our workers work and earn their living in the services sector. I think I can share just a few personal stories or insights into how this topic is trending, to use a social media phrase, inside the cabinet, inside the government. So first of all, I benefit a lot from the good works done by my predecessors, Ibu Mari, Pak Gita, Pak Lutfi, Pak Gobel. I remember Pak Chris Kanter, I think I hadn't even been sworn in for 1 week. Pak Chris Kanter and team, Pak Gobel's team came to me and talked about the Services Summit. And I think the topic germinated in my mind to the point where I can share with you. I just recently had official meetings with the Trade Minister of Australia, Steve Chiobo, and then last week I was in Brussels with Industry Minister Sadli to progress our negotiations with the European Union to get FTAs with Australia and then with the EU. And basically, my big picture concept for them is quite centered around services. So I said to them, look, and I think this is fair to say, kind of a consensus opinion between Steve Chiobo in Australia and Commissioner Malmstrom in Europe and myself. These FTAs, we tend to get in the boxing ring and fight over what I call the old boogaboos, right? Like decades long already, we fight over bones of contention like agriculture products, right? Like very protected in most countries around the world. We fight about tariff lines, like, okay, how many tariffs we bring down, over what time period, which sectors and so on. But it's the 21st century now. And so we agreed to focus our FTAs, number one, on the services sector, and number two, on the digital economy and e-commerce. And frankly, our strategy is like this. By adding these two huge areas to our FTA negotiations, we're hoping to shrink the old bones of contention down to their proper proportion. Right? We want to make the publics on both sides, say Australia, Indonesia, Europe, Indonesia, to realize that, look, yes, agriculture is important, yes, manufacturing is important, but as a percentage of our GDPs, they're shrinking very fast, frankly. And if you predict forward, they're going to be even more shrunk. Why? Not because they're not growing, not because they're stagnant. They are growing. Right? Technology is infiltrating even those sectors. Manufacturing is also benefiting from robotics and automation and so on. Agriculture from the latest seed technology and green revolution. But services sector is growing even faster. And now with digital economy and e-commerce, that's a whole new game entirely on top of everything else. And frankly, if we don't shape up, right? If we regulators, if we policymakers don't shape up, and get everyone focused on this, my worry is we're going to be left behind, right? Why? For example, like this, services are very easily delivered over the internet, right? So imagine an English teacher in Germany giving English tutorial to a client in Indonesia over Skype video, right? That's actually a service export from Germany. We're actually importing the service. Say if the client in Indonesia pays that tutor in Germany, I don't think that will show up in any of our statistics. Well, I'm very sure it will not show up in our trade statistics, for sure, because probably that customer in Indonesia will not bother to report it in that level of detail. It will not show up in Germany's trade statistics because the tutor will also not bother to report it. The only place it will show up is probably in our balance of payments, right? So if the customer in Indonesia sends money to the tutor in Germany, it will show up as a monetary outflow. Okay. Now, that's just one example. And again, as more and more of our economy moves to the service sector, and as more and more of the service sector moves to the internet, if we're still fighting with each other over tariffs on goods, over standards on sanitary for agriculture, like the whole world is moving on, and we're still busy with, never mind 20th century, but maybe even 19th century issues. Right? So that's one example. Now, I think the second thing I can share is like this. Again, thanks to my predecessors, and to a very significant extent, I started snowballing this issue, dialogues on this issue within the Ministry of Trade, and even starting to embrace or invite other ministries, for example, Ministry of Education, Anies Baswedan, and Minister of Labor, Hanif Dakiri. So three of us had a meeting recently, right? And I said, guys, I think we have to talk more and more about service sector. Number one, it's just economic reality with urbanization, with economic development, and so on. Number two, just to share with you guys, in my FTA negotiations, is taking up a bigger and bigger proportion of the FTAs themselves, taking a bigger and bigger proportion of the time, energy, effort that all the negotiators on both sides are putting into this FTAs. And give you an example. So we started talking, and of course, when we talk about services, we have to talk about skills, training, vocational, and so on, right? And then at one point, we were saying, President Jokowi has this program to build 10 new Balis, right? From Labuan Bajo in East Nusa Tenggara to Morotai in Maluku, near Maluku, to Belitung, only 45 minutes from Singapore. And then Labor Minister Hanif made a striking observation. He said, "Emangnya SDM kita udah siap?" Are we ready with the number of workers and labor? Is our human capital ready? And I was very struck by that, and I did a quick numbers in my head. How many people would be working in the tourism sector or hospitality sector in Bali today? I have to guess at least 500,000. Let's say 500,000. So we're building 10 new Balis with 5 million well-trained, pleasant attitude, nicely skilled, decently English-speaking hospitality workers, right? So, and look, I think by now we've all learned that it's a bad idea to bet against President Jokowi. When he sets out to get something built, it gets built, right? So, these 10 new Balis, Before, maybe I would have been skeptical, but having seen him break through time and again and actually getting stuff built, I think now we have to assume that these 10 volleys will get built. But the next nightmare would be is if we build these 10 new volleys, right, and we don't have the manpower, we don't have the people, we don't have the human capital to fill all these hotels, cafes, restaurants, spas, souvenir shops. We don't have enough tour guides, we don't have enough lifeguards, surfing trainers or surfing tutors, and so on.